What I like to do is watch this next bit and see if you can actually make sense of it. I want the person playing the game to be able to enter their name at the start of the game. So, to enter something to the system, into the game, we need to use something called input. So if we're using data, like a name, and we're inputting it into the system, we need to use the word input. So watch. Input. But before we do that, we need to make sure that our computer's ready for us to actually take that name. So I'm going to make another assignment. Set name to empty. So when the game starts, it'll do this line, it'll do this line, it'll assign nothing to the variable name, but it's there ready to go for us to use later. I'm just going to scrub that out and put it down here. Then if you do input name, what will appear on the screen would be a box with a flashing cursor, and the person will have to type in their name. But this is going to cause some confusion, because how would you know that you're meant to type in your name? Imagine you're playing a game and you load it up, and then you just get a cursor and a box loaded but no other instructions. So let's change it slightly. So let's take out the input. Gone too far. Okay. 1 second, because my computer is being rather frustrating, so let me just pause. Okay. Back to where we left off. But before we display that little cursor box with the flashing cursor for them to type in their name, what we're going to do is we're going to display some data. Now, if input allows you to type data into a computer, what do you think is going to allow you to take data out? If you said output, correct. So we want to display a message, so I'm just going to put output, and in speech marks, please enter name. Now it makes sense for us to do our input. So I want you to write input and allow them to enter their name. See if you can remember how to do it. If you just simply put input name, congratulations. I'm going to give you a challenge. I want you now to output another message saying welcome to the game, whatever their name is, like John or Mark or Sally or Rochelle. Do that now. Pause the video. Okay, what you should have had was something like this. Output, welcome to the game, close the speech marks, name. Why name? Because name is whatever value you've typed in will store in name. So if I type in Joe, it'll store it in name. It's like a box. If I type in poo poo, name will be poo poo. So imagine you've got a box called name, and whatever you type in goes into the box. So output welcome to the game is then going to get their name from the box and display it. So to recap, you've looked at the following aspects in what we call structured English. You've looked at number 1, assigning a value. which was set and set name. You've looked at sequence, which was the zombie biting you, something to happen. You've looked at selection, which was a condition, if then else. You've looked at repetition, and you've looked at input and outputs. In structured English, I'm now going to give you a challenge to do in structured English, but that's going to be after our two other methods of expressing algorithms.